This week's video, I'm going to show the IR or Ingersoll Rand, the 20 volt line of power tools. So I'm not really the biggest Milwaukee electric tool fan, so this is what I chose for my electric tool platform, at least in the service truck, as most of you know the garage stuff is all Ryobi. Yeah, it's two different battery platforms, but I figured I wanted it that way to keep them separate. So let me reposition the camera and let's get into the video. So what I have here is the 1/2 inch. This is the high torque impact. They do have a 1/2 inch that's a little less torque. Then there's a 3/8. They have a different 3/8, but it's the brushed version. So these two are both brushless. And then that over there is the drill. So that is not the brushless drill, it's the regular brush drill. I figured I don't use the drill that much, so I just get the brushed version because it was a little bit cheaper. And then it came with, so these were a kit, 2 batteries and a charger. This was a kit, 2 batteries and a charger. That was the bare tool. So I have the other charger and stuff. I just didn't bring it out because they're literally the exact same thing. Just real quick, I wanted to mention that 18 volt and 20 volt are basically the same thing. It's the same number of cells. It's just the way they measure the voltage. You can't compare that as your platform. So then just to kind of start out, the 1/2 inch here, the IR kit on Amazon with 1 5 amp hour battery. It comes with a bag and a charger, is $479, as where the Milwaukee kit is $379. So these are a little bit more expensive. The 1/2 inch impact has 1,000 foot-pound. Torque Test channel did a video comparing this gun to the Milwaukee high torque and the rigid high torque. So I'm not going to torque any of that stuff. Check out their video. That's pretty cool. So if you want to know any of that kind of stuff, just watch that. So then kind of one of the reasons that I started this, and I'm not just the biggest fan of Milwaukee. It's just like I have their electric tools and that's fine. Their corded tools is fine. But I had one of these Milwaukee, the fuel version of this, and it just didn't perform like I thought it would perform. I don't know, I thought it would have more power. Everybody says they got so much power, but I just didn't experience that. It was a fuel, it was brand new. I had the right battery, all that. So I decided to ditch that one. I sold that one and I got these IR ones. I wanted a different platform. I didn't really want Milwaukee, and then I wanted more of a heavy duty platform. That's why I decided not to put the rigid stuff in the service truck. But I think these are really great. I like them a lot. I like that they're kind of like Air Tool style. Like it's got the old, like that's very reminiscent of Air Tools. I think they're just real the serviceability I feel like on these impacts is really good. Like you pull these 4 bolts out, you can pull everything apart, grease it, clean it, replace part. They have diagrams on their website of everything you would need, all blown up diagrams. You can order the parts. One of the things I really like is the ring light is nice. So there's 3 different settings, and then obviously you can have it set. So I have it set to off. You can have it set to high, and then it'll stay on high. It'll go off. There's different settings and stuff. You just got to learn that. When I first got these, I didn't understand why the lights didn't shut off. So I think that's a really cool setup, and it's that way on the 1/2 inch as well. One of the other things that really nice is the angled head. So if you can see that, see how the battery is, and then the head is tilted. I'm not sure what the angle is, but it's tilted up. So that way if you're getting into a bolt or something, it kicks the battery away from the bolt. So you're not fighting it. So you're not fighting it like trying to get, it's more prevalent on the 1/2 inch where it's kicked. So if you're trying to tighten something, you have extra room down here. Like from here to here, you can see there's extra room. So that makes it really nice. The drill's that way too. A lot of drills kind of do that. So that's not that common of a thing. They do have non-brushless on everything. These two are brushless though. And you can see they're kind of different. See how the bodies are a little bit different. I feel like the IR stuff it's more heavy duty than the Milwaukee stuff. Like I say that, and I know people are probably not going to like that, but this stuff is kind of on par with Hilti. So Hilti's like a very professional version. IR is just a very professional tool. It's more professional than Milwaukee. Milwaukee's a prosumer, which is pro consumer grade. As where this stuff, you don't find this stuff at Home Depot or Lowe's or anything. You have to go to a specialty store, which could be good or bad. That can be positive or negative. And then another thing is these chargers are really cool. I really like the chargers with the lights. It shows you the progressiveness of the charge. It beeps when it's done, which is really cool. The first time I heard that, I was like, what the heck is that? And then I like that the screws are just exposed, so you don't have to it does give you the measurements on the back, but you don't have to, you know, slide it or anything. You can just stick the screws right in there. The cord's detachable, which that's really handy for me. I think that's really, really handy. And it's got a USB port on it, which is kind of cool too. I'm not sure, maybe the newer Milwaukee stuff has USB ports, but I'm not sure about that. I really like the charger is a little bit big. So I kind of want to get into the cons here a little bit. So the cons are the tool line is definitely not as wide as Milwaukee. I mean, you got to hand it to Milwaukee. I'm not the biggest fan. Their tool line is just awesome. They have so many different tools. So that's kind of the downfall to the IR. The IR tool line is pretty limited. So it's impacts, it's drills. They did just come out with a grinder, which is cool, like a 4-inch angle grinder, which I want to get one of those. They just came out with them maybe a couple weeks ago. They have some hex drivers. They have one thing that's cool that I've never seen before besides IR is they have the hammerhead impact. So it's like it looks like a ratchet, but it's an impact. They have ratchets, grease guns. They have 1-inch gun too, which 1-inch gun would be really cool, but it's like $1,400, so I can't justify that. They have 3/4 gun, which 3/4 gun's not that bad. So another downfall is these are more expensive. So the bare tools are kind of on par. So that grinder that I was talking about, it's like $191 for the bare grinder, which that's kind of on par with everybody else for bare tools. The drills, this drill I think was like $199, pretty much on par. When you get the kits is when it gets expensive. And Torque Test Channel put it, I'm sure you don't have IR batteries just kind of kicking around. So yeah, you got to buy the kits, and the kits can get more expensive than the Milwaukee stuff or anybody else's stuff. Another thing that I have not issues with is just these locks on the batteries. Somebody else kind of mentioned that is poor battery design, but like this one's not doing it, but sometimes they'll stick. I've never had the batteries come off. The one, I was watching a video and somebody said that they had the batteries come off. I've never had that before, but they just get, let's see if this one will do it. One of them does it, like these things will stick in and the battery won't lock all the way. I've had that happen where one of them will stay in and then it kind of, see how it's like loose right there? I'm holding it in, but there, it did it right there. It gets stuck. So you got to kind of mess with it a little bit. I've had that happen a few times. But as far as the batteries, I haven't noticed, like probably one of my go-to guns. I grab this one more than these other two. And I'll go a week without charging batteries or switching batteries around. So let's see what this one's 2 bars. I'll go about a week or so on a full charge of a battery and not need to charge it. So then another con that I don't know, is this 1/2-inch gun, I don't know, I'm just not, it's not that I'm not happy with it, it seems really odd. So it does this really weird squeal thing. I don't know if you guys can hear it. So I've took this thing apart and greased it at least 3 times. So I don't know if it's just I got a bad one or what, but I've took it apart, I've greased it, it still does it. It does it really bad. I don't know if I'm using the wrong grease or what, so I'm just going to try that. And then too, like, for the price of these tools, you'd think they'd be a little bit heavier duty. Like right here, you can see, like, hopefully you can see that. Like, it twists. I mean, I don't know if other tools do that or not, but like, the head on this thing is so heavy, and then the handle is kind of, it's kind of chintzy, I guess you could say, but like it's noticeable more on this one because it's heavier. Whereas this one, it does it, but it doesn't do it as bad. So that's kind of another downfall to these is, we had a resident from a John Deere, and he had a 3/8 Milwaukee, and I was just like, let me see it. I just wanted to test it out. And it's way smaller than this and way lighter. It had the same 5 amp hour battery too. Obviously not the same battery, but it had a 5 amp hour battery on it. And it was way lighter. So that's kind of one thing, is these tools are kind of heavy. This one isn't so bad. I don't really care, but this one is just heavy. The other mechanic has a Milwaukee gun, and it's lighter than this one. So I have tested this one to 650 foot-pounds, installing and breakaway. Torque Test Channel did all that stuff, so if you really care about that. But I have tested that to this. But there is some things that this one won't take loose that the Milwaukee gun will. I thought I had a video about it, but I guess I don't. We're putting an 850 together. No, we're taking an 850 apart, and you have to take the stick off. So we were taking the bolts out of the pin, and this gun would not take those bolts out. They're 24 millimeter bolts, not 24 millimeter heads. This gun wouldn't take it out. The Milwaukee gun had to do it. So there is some things that this one won't do. I don't know if this one, again, maybe this is just a bad gun and the other ones are better. I'm not real sure. You know, they can be kind of hard to find. You got to either order them online, or you got to, Granger sells them, Fastenal sells them. So industrial supply places sell them, but you can't just go run to Home Depot to grab one. But the main reason, one of the main reasons that I've decided on the IR stuff is I wanted to be a little bit different. I didn't want to be Milwaukee Kool-Aid guy. That's just my thoughts. I feel like they're a little more heavy duty. I really like the ring lights. They have I've noticed recently that they've started to kind of expand the lineup a little bit. So they added the grinder. I think that was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago I saw that they added the grinder, and I'm hoping they're adding some more stuff. So I want to get a grinder. It's probably gonna be the next thing I get, because sometimes like you just need a quick little grind. I want to get the grease gun. I have like a hand pistol grease gun, but I kind of want to get the IR grease gun. So they're adding stuff. Hopefully they'll start adding more stuff a little bit faster. That's just my thoughts on the IR stuff. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. If you could like, comment, subscribe, you know, all the YouTube algorithm stuff that really helps out. There's also a donation link down below if anybody would like to donate to the channel. That'd be appreciated.